Um, why do you think there's limited to no turbo swap development for the B8 S4? Well, I'll tell you from our perspective, it's just not. They don't seem to be as good.
Well, it's just so many things. Like, right? I mean, there's a couple of guys that are doing them, but I don't know that a lot of people quite comprehend what that would take to put into a full product.
It's
Like
a big product.
the amount of effort, the amount of just hard parts you need, the amount of limitations that you're dealing with inherently in the motor that you have to overcome from, fueling to physical constraints of your intake manifold and how that's set up. And
But that's my
it's
point, right? Like
it,
for the maybe 10,000 on the low end to the 20,000 that it would require to do a swap like that.
cost wise, yeah.
It's not overall better than the supercharger. And certainly if you just take into account that you already have the supercharger, that you can make about 600 crank horsepower with it, with no turbo lag, immediate neck snapping immediacy of power
Right.
delivery. So I
Yeah.
think until people start running like 10-second quarter miles with a $5,000 turbo kit, I don't
Right.
see a lot of popularity.
Yeah. And the guys that are out there that do have them are guys that have spent hundreds or thousands of man hours on it, iterating it, developing it, putting it together. It's very much
Yeah,
a
but they're
lot
not
of
doing
effort, very
anything really remarkable with them yet.
they've got some fast, 60 to 130 times and whatnot. But I mean, as far as like pure trap or
Yeah,
drag strip stuff or however you want to, whatever metric you want to use, it's
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess you can pick your metric on what you want, but
Well, or I'd love to see some dynos, how much power they're making.
mhm. Yeah, I
Um,
don't know offhand if I've seen anything in quite a while.
yeah, so I think that's the big issue is the stock supercharger setup's very good, and then the cost because
Yeah, you're into the limit of everything.
you need an up pipe setup, you need at least one turbo, you need some type of intake manifold solution.
Yeah, you're pretty heavily modifying the firewall between the motor and the cabin. That's
Yeah,
got to all get rearranged and
oil
moved.
and water lines have to be added.
And then that's not even taken into account. You're out of fuel. You're out of all
Yeah,
these other,
right.
your high pressure pump, your low pressure pump,
Yeah.
your injectors, and then your cooling. So yeah, it's tricky. There's a lot that goes into it to try and get anything better or substantially better than what you have now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've certainly looked into it. It's not a new thing.
Mm-mm.
I think the first turbo 3.0 Ti I saw was 6-7 years ago.
At least.
You know, um, and we've at one point we were convinced that we were going to do a product, we were going to do a kit. We started looking into it, and the cost and complexity and stuff just made it seem like is anyone going to want to pay this much money for a turbo kit? So I mean, a staged setup would be interesting. Like use the supercharger to get the turbo spooled
Oh, sure, but
up,
you
and then,
you still have all the complexity of the
well,
turbo
it's very
stuff. Yeah,
complex.
you've got
That
no.
would be even more complex than a turbo kit, and then I don't even know where you put it. Put any of the stuff. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would say max out using, frankly, the really cheap and affordable options. There's more stuff coming for the 3.0,
Mhm.
the supercharged B8 3.0T. We're working on more stuff.
Yep.
There's going to be more power coming. I don't think anyone's going to get you to 800 horsepower anytime soon with one of those, but unless you use nitrous or something. But I think, another 50 horsepower above what's currently being made is certainly doable. So.